I'm just continuing this Godot journey with me, so thank you for joining.
Is less than 0, well then we'll set animated sprite dot flip age to true. And now if we play this, we can see that our player sprite.
Let's do that. 2D view. Such an animated sprite. All right.
And let's add two new animations, one called run and one for jumping. In our run animation,
That's great. Extra animation down here. How do I add animation? Oh, right here. Okay, here. Action, so let's run. Oops. Run. Yes, run. And let's see. Jump. Jump. Let me guess how it's gonna work. I can guess how it's gonna work, but I mean, let's see.
I'll add some new sprite frames. Select our knight. Remember, this is 8 by 8, and I'll simply add all of the frames in the run animation, which stretches over 2.
Okay. So let's get the run animation. Go to assets. Go down to sprites. And night. Eight. So yeah, that works. Okay, so all these. Yep. Pretty sure we're gonna add the frames. So yep.
Lines here. I'll add those frames, set the FPS to
Gosh.
and play. Looks good.
10 as well. Yes, let's play. Yeah, that looks good.
The jump animation, I'll also add a sprite frame. And there are a bunch of different ways to go about this. But in our case here, I think we should actually play our jump animation whenever we're just in the air. This means that this will also play when we're just falling off a platform. And for this, we could use a very quick looping animation or simply a single frame. I actually like this one from the roll animation, so I'm just going to use that. Then,
Okay, so the one from the roll animation. So all right, let's look at it. Night. Oh, what? No, I don't. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? I did not know I was. Okay, so that it's that one, right? I don't think that's right. Hold on, what?
roll animation.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just going to use that. Then in our script, we can of course play these animations. So after we get the input direction and flip the sprite, let's add a new segment, which is going to play animations. And here we also need to check our direction variable.
Yeah.
More
I have to
specifically,
write a comment. Let's see. Let's save that. Let's go this. Add the comment. Jump. Animation. So let's say no, it's animations, right? Animations, yes. Hello, this is Ron with Game Dev, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.
we're standing still. And we can go ahead and play animated sprite dot play the animation called idle.
Okay, so if direct, I always use discretion. No, that's not right. Direction is equal to 0. See that? It's like 2 equals, right? Yeah. think that's what it is. I have my glasses on, so that's good. That movement. Airspace, airspace. And see, play. I no, what is that? Save it. I think I know it's
If this is not the case, so else, well then we want to play animated sprite dot play the run animation. And then
so yeah, I'm learning all this stuff too. So if anyone has any questions of how things work, just let me know. I don't know if I can answer it as well as Brad Keys, but I mean, I can try. Yeah, so let's see. Else and uh, yeah. Is it crashing? Oh, yeah. Play. Oh, I definitely need this. There. I save that.
that's actually it. If we now start running, we can see our run animation.
Let's test this out. Let's see. I hope it doesn't crash on us. Oh, look at that. You can see you can see me running. Ooh, wee-oo. A coin. Here's what I have so far, by the way. On the it's not nothing exciting. It's definitely not good. Here's the death animation. And it restarts. So it's like pretty straightforward. If you follow this tutorial, you'll learn a lot.
Being played. Finally, we just need to add our jump animation. And here we can use a built-in function of our character body 2D, which is to check if we are standing on the floor. So at the top here, we'll check if we're currently on the floor, is on floor. Well, then
Okay. If so, if is on floor. If is on floor, no, huh? Yeah, that's how I do it. If is on floor, that.
then we want to go ahead and play our idle or run. So I'll cut this using Control X, paste it in here, make sure you tab in. And if we are not standing on the floor,
Okay.
well, then we're in
Okay, so that's what I do. Interesting. Of course, copy. Copy. I copied that. I just cut that. Make it. No, no, no. Down there. So I can like. Right? That way?
the air and we can go and play.
No, we need to do that. Is it two ifs? That's a double if statement. What? Else enemies.
Animated sprite.play our jump animation instead. So
I need to do that, 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 that. No, it's not working. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I don't know. So I need to do that. Okay. So let's see. Let's do that. Let's do that. Nope, that's just let's Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Control Z. Okay. This is confusing. It's Control Z again. Control Z again. Control Z. Control Z. Expected indented block after if.
If we're on the floor and our direction is 0, well then we're playing idle. If it's not 0, well then we're playing run. And if we're not on the floor, we aren't doing any of those things, we're just playing the jump animation.
I see. I see. We need something down here. Over here. L.
With the Verizon Visa card, you get up to $200.
And that's it. Now if we
We need, okay, so we need that, that. Oh, that's it. Okay, there. I figured that. Else, so else. So you go to my animate sprite. I didn't bother changing the 2D part. Where do I play? Jump. So let's save that. See what it works.
play, we have a fully animated knight.
Awesome. So let's see if it works. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Awesome. Looks kind of jittery though. Yeah. That looks good. It looks good, yeah. So far, as my first project. Not my first project. I actually have
I like to
multiple
think that
projects.
she's a former princess who got so tired of waiting to be saved from the big bad dragon that she took matters into her own hands. Who better to save some princesses from a dragon than someone who knows dragons like her own back pocket? But feel free to make up your own story. And that reminds me, story. We need a good way of communicating story, hints, and other valuable information to the player. And to do this, we need text. So let's add some text elements to our game. Text.
Oh boy.
There are multiple ways of working with text in Godot, as part of a larger UI or as an integrated part of the game world. For this game, I decided to try making the text part of our world. In Godot, a text node is called a label. So let's add one. Let's hit Ctrl A and search for label.
Add a label. Label?
Let's focus on it. And as you can see, this creates kind of a bounding box for our text. So I'm going to put it over here and scale it up a bit. And let's add some text in the field here. I'm going to put in a gameplay hint. And as you can see, the text looks really blurry.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So I can place this over here. Space to jump. There. Okay.
That's because since we're using pixel art, we're actually zoomed in really, really far, which makes the otherwise smooth text appear blurry. So we can fix this by using a pixelated font with hard edges to match our style. I've of course included some in the assets, so let's go under Theme Overrides on our label, Fonts, and here we can drag in the Pixel Operator font. We can also change the font size under Font Sizes here, enable that, and I'm going to set mine to 8. Note that we have to use multiples of 8 in order for the text to appear.
Where does this go? What was it? Hold on.
Multiples of 8 in order for the text to appear crisp. So you can see if
Okay, so it goes in here. And see. Fonts. Leave the settings. The settings. Font. No, empty. Let's see. Let's get this in. Oh, there we go. There you go. So let's see. Size. Okay. Let's change it to 8. Okay, yeah, that works.
If I change this to 9, it becomes blurry again, but we can use 16, 24, 32, and so on. I'm also going to go to the colors here and change the font color using the color picker.
Okay, let's change the color. Okay. Color. So I can change the color. Red. Okay, that just looks terrible. I don't know. I kind of like white, but I mean, what is it going to turn into?
And now we can place these text elements around our game to provide story or gameplay tips. Once we're happy, we can categorize all of them under a node. So let's create a node, call it labels, and drag all of them under that. And now when we...
Okay, so we just do the same thing. So Control T. So you just duplicate the label. Duplicate the label. I'll just write. Wait for it. And I'm gonna have Control D. Control D. Then I got another one. Let's see. Try not to do too much here. Try to get focused more on the video. Nothing. So I know what to do. I know what to do. I'm going to well, first we're gonna add a node. So just regular old node, and let's so no, that, and put all that into that. Our name is labels. All right. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into tile map and just gonna change some levels. Change some of the levels. I'm gonna add a brick that way. It's gonna be like Super Mario. So where he gets, I'm gonna add a whole bunch of coins and stuff right over here. Coin. So let's Control D. So where is coin 8? Where is coin 9? I don't know. Oh, here it is. Coin 9. So I'm just gonna add one outside the coin, one coin right here. Oops, no coin. It goes up here. Save it. All right, that's good.
Play, as you can see, they appear as a natural part of our game world. And just like with sprites, because the player character has a greater z-index, it will draw on top. So let's use one of these text elements to display our current score.
Oh,
Score
yes,
and
score.
points. To create a score or coin counter for our game, we need two things: a script that keeps track of our current score, and a label to display it. It's common practice to place game-wide variables such as a score inside some kind of game manager. So let's make one. We'll hit Ctrl A to add a new node. Let's rename it Game Manager.
Okay, new node. All right, let's turn on all these. We got plenty of that. So let's add an actual node. Add game underscore manager. Spell manager, yeah. I'm not good at spelling. I got like terrible grades, you know.
And I'll place it right at the top here.
All
The
right.
reason why we are using a regular node and not a node 2D is because we don't need our game manager to have a transform, in other words, a position, rotation, and scale. Now let's add a script to our game manager. We'll use the empty template, and for the path here, let's put it inside of our scripts folder.
Yeah, okay. So let's add a script. So to scripts open. So like that. So
And let's also rename it with non-capital letters. Create. And let's create a variable for our current score. So we'll write var for variable, name it score, and default it to 0. Now, so far in our code, we've only used the built-in functions of Godot, and some that we made with signals. In this case here, we want to create our own function that adds a point to our score and displays it. So I'll write func for a function. We'll name it add point, open and close some parentheses, and put a colon. Then on a new line, we'll write score plus equals 1 to increase our score by 1, and print our current score. Now,
at point. Func. And right. Okay.
unlike ready, which runs at the start of our game, and our signal functions, which run when a signal gets triggered, this function currently has nothing that calls it. So right now our function is here, but it isn't being run. To change this, we need to go into our coin script and tell it to call this function whenever a coin is picked up. So inside of our coin script, we need a reference to our game manager. But if we just click and drag while holding down control, we get this really weird looking path. This is because the game manager is higher up in the tree than the coins. And it's generally bad practice to use paths like this that try to access nodes at the same level or higher in the tree. Luckily, because our game manager is a one of a kind and we are sure that there will always be only one game manager, we can solve this by marking it as unique. So let's right-click our game manager and select Access as Unique Name. As you can see, this creates a percentage icon next to the game.
Okay. Let's get to the coin script. And let's see. This as unique name. Where's access as unique? Okay. Stay.
Manager, letting us know that it's a unique node. This makes it much easier and safer to get a reference to the game manager, because now when we drag it in, instead of a dollar sign with a weird and
Okay, so I drag it in. Let's control. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
unpredictable path, we get a percentage sign, which means that Godot quickly finds the node via its unique name instead of using a path. One limitation of this is that you can only access unique nodes from within the same scene. If the game manager and the coins were in different scenes, this wouldn't work. Now in our function, we can replace the print line here with game manager, access our game manager, and call the function add point. And now when a body
Yeah. So game manager. Add underscore point. There. Yeah.
Enters our coin, it's going to go to the game manager and run our add point function. And if we play, we can see that every time we pick up a coin.
Okay, let's see. See how that works. So we go here, and 1, 2, and die. It works. That's good.
It increases and prints our score in the output window. Finally, we can use what we learned about labels in the previous chapter to create one for displaying our coins. I'm going to make a little place for this in our level. For now, I'll just put in some text that says you collected X amount of coins. I'm also going to change the auto wrap mode to word. Now we can wrap our text and the horizontal alignment to center. Finally, I'll use a bolder font. Now we can take this label and rename it to something like score label. And since we want to change it from our game manager,
So, we're gonna add another. We're gonna add another. I know exactly where to add this. Duplicate. No, I didn't need to do that. I could just create Control D, but I'm gonna. Right. So you made it. You go. You go. Like the X coins. Yep, and I'm gonna. So center. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna use to score label. Yeah, sounds good.
let's drag it right under our game manager. Now in our script,
Now, okay, so now we get to do this and do right into the game library. Oh, okay. Yeah. Save it. Okay.
we get a reference by clicking and dragging, holding down Control. And instead of printing our score, we'll go into our score label and access the text property and change it to you collected. And then here I'm going to add the number, add the score onto that amount of coins. Notice how I make sure to add spaces between the words. And while this looks good, it's actually going to give us an error. And that's because we need to change this score here from a whole number variable called an integer into a text variable called a string. Again, we'll talk much more about variables in our video on GDScript. But for now, we can cast this using str for string and then wrapping it in parentheses.
So, okay. Score the text. Okay. Score label text equals, right? Oops. Open up OES for a second to there. Equals you collected. You collected plus str or plus coin. Six.
And now when we play and pick up some coins along the way here, once we get to the end, it says, great job, you collected 6 coins. And if I pick up another one, it's going to update to 7.
Okay, that seems to work. Let's play it. Let's play and check it out. 1, 2. Okay, let's just get 4 coins. I got 3 coins. Woohoo! Yeah, it worked. Ooh, yeah.
Awesome. And I don't know about you, this is great and all, but I think it's distinctly lacking a bling sound when we pick up a coin.
Oh,
Bling,
yeah.
bling, bling. Bling. Audio. One of the things that often get overlooked when making a game is audio. But music and sound effects are a huge part of building the mood of your game. This is of course a beginner's tutorial, but let's at least get our feet wet, or should I say our ears wet? Nope, I shouldn't. Let's at least add a music track and a pickup sound for our coins. Now in the assets, I've included a music track as well as a few sounds. And to play these, we need a new type of node, the audio stream player. So let's add a new node, search for audio stream player 2D.
Okay. Let's do that. Do that. Audio. Audio. Audio stream player 2D, right? Yeah, it just has a different looking. Nice. So this is the newest updated version of our stream player 2D. So yeah, there it is. So this looks like my entire game. It looks like a mess, but I mean it's not my first, but I mean
Let's rename this to
tutorial.
music. Then we can take our music track.
So let's go to music. Okay.
Here, time for adventure, and drag it into the stream slot. We're also going to set it to autoplay. And by default, this is not going to loop. To change that, let's double click it. This is going to open up our audio importer. Here we can preview our music track.
Okay, let's see. Music. Tap adventure. So let's get that. So I'll play on. We'll click. Loop enable.
Groovy. Anyways, we can loop. So let's enable loop here and hit re-import. Now by default, all sounds are played fairly loud, and since this is background music, we probably want to turn it down a bit. We can do this by adjusting the volume on each individual AudioStream player, or we can use the audio tab here at the bottom. This is actually a fully functioning audio mixer, and we can add different buses to control our audio. Let's add 2, one for our music, as well as one for sound effects. And then we can simply route our music here into our music bus. So now we can control the volume of our music using this slider. I'm just going to set it to -12. And we have music. Unfortunately, it's going to restart whenever our scene is reloaded. A quick fix for this is to take our music node and make it into a scene. So I'll click and drag it into our scenes folder, hit save, and then we can add this scene as an auto load. Functioning audio mixer, and we can add different buses to control our audio. Let's add 2, one for our music, as well as one for sound effects. And then we can simply route our music here into our music bus. So now we can control the volume of our music using this slider. I'm just going to set it to -12. And we have music. Unfortunately, it's going to restart whenever our scene is reloaded. A quick fix for this is to take our music node and make it into a scene. So I'll click and drag it into our scenes folder, hit save, and then we can add this scene as an auto load. Auto loads are global scenes and scripts that we want to persist throughout.
This and put it in the scenes.
Our entire game, no matter which scene is currently loaded. So let's remove music here from our game scene and instead go to Project, Project Settings, Auto Load. We'll click the little folder here and navigate to our music scene and hit Add. We've now registered our music scene as an auto load, which which means that if we now play, even though our music scene isn't in our game, it automatically loads and starts playing our track. Let's remove music here from our game scene and instead go to Project, Project Settings, Auto Load. We'll click the little folder here and navigate to our music scene and hit Add. We've now registered.
Okay, that. Scenes. Did I put in scenes? Was it music that was supposed to be in scenes? Or. Oh, yeah. It was supposed to be scenes, so never mind. I have to do that. Music and scenes. Save. Just put that. And project settings. So scenes, music, and so
Our music scene as an auto load, which means that if we now play, even though our music scene isn't in our game, it automatically loads and starts playing our track. And even better, it doesn't reset when our game.
you hear that? It's working. Okay, it's good.
Restarts. Now to add a pickup sound, we go to our coin and add an audio stream player. Let's rename this to pick up sound, drag in our coin sound, and set the bus here to sound effects. And now we can actually play this sound through script. But since we are removing the coin immediately by calling the cue-free function, the sound won't actually get a chance to play.
Clorox
Oh my
Sentiva
gosh.
cleans like Clorox. Smells like grapefruit.
We can of course fix this by adding code that waits until the sound has finished playing, but then we might get weird functionality where we try to pick up the coin multiple times while it's playing and it will still be visible until the sound is finished. So let me show you a really cool trick to get around tricky time.
So let's see. Coin. It's audio stream player. So video and player 2D. Pick up. Pick up. Add the sound effect. And coin. Let's play. Wow, that's like a way too loud.
Things like this without writing any code. That is using an animation player. So let's add an animation player. And here we'll create a new pickup animation. And the first thing that we want to do when we pick up the coin is to hide the coin sprite. So I'll go into the animated sprite 2D, and this will change the window. So I'll go back to animation here. And now under visibility, I get to keyframe the visible property. Now when working with animations that don't need to play until later in the game, it's nice to be able to go back to the default values after animating. By default here, our coin should be visible. Now, this is pretty cool. If I just create a keyframe here for the default value, Godot is going to ask to create a reset track. If we say yes to this, Godot is automatically going to create another animation track called reset that will simply reset this value to its default state. So now in our pickup animation, we can keyframe it to whatever we want. In our case, when we pick up the coin, we want it not to be visible, so I'll disable that, keyframe it. And then if we want
Keyframe. Okay, let's see. Let's see. That sounds with that. And then let's one. No, this I have to change visibility off in this keyframe. Yeah, so let's see. So let's see visibility on. So okay, I think I did it right. So visible. Well, no, I think I did it right. Did it wrong. So let's see. So let's see. How did they do it?
To go back to our default values, we simply go to our reset track and there it is. It goes back to default. So let's go to our pickup. Let's also modify our collision shape. We don't want to be able to collide with it while it's playing the sound. So let's simply go ahead and add a default key here for the disabled property. Hit create. And now we can set.
Oh, okay. So you just visible. So it's like visible. So that and collision shape. Visible. Oh. So reset. Nation. Reset. By
Disable to true and add a new key. We can also go into our pickup sound here and let's add a default key for the playing property. Let's hit create. And now since the sound plays pretty quickly, I can actually reach the key in time. So we can go down here instead. I'm just gonna scale this up a bit. Go down here to the value, the keyframe here, and change it to on. So we can actually modify the keyframes here as well. So now we have our pickup animation. And if we go to reset, we can see that everything goes back to default. So that's just a
oh, reset. I don't know. Okay. Okay. See. Animation. Reset. Okay.
nice way of working with.
Let's add that point. So let's add playing. Playing. If you set. So click send. Reset. Put on. Right.
Animation. So now we play the sound, disable the collider, and hide the sprite. After 1 second though, we can go ahead and remove the coin from our scene. So all of these keyframes here are on second 1. Let's put them over to right at the beginning of our animation at second 0. And then after 1 second here, we want to remove our coin. And this is a really cool part about the animation system, is that we can actually add another track here, a call method track, that is used to calling functions. So on our coin, we want to call a function, and I'll right click right where we want to do that, insert key, and the function that we want to call is the queue_free method, which is right here. And so now, after 1 second, it's going to call the queue_free method on our coin without us writing.
Yes. This there. Yeah. Track. Let's see. What kind of track did you use? I didn't see.
Change it to on. So we can actually modify the keyframes here as well. So now we have our pickup animation, and if we go to reset, we can see that everything goes back to default. So that's just a nice way of working with animation. So now we play the sound, disable the collider, and hide the sprite. After 1 second though, we can go ahead and remove the coin from our scene. So all of these keyframes here are on second 1. Let's put them over to right at the beginning of our animation at second 0. And then after 1 second here, we want to remove our coin.
Let's see.
And this is a really cool part about the animation system, is that we can actually add another track here, a call method track, that is used to calling functions. So on our coin, we want to call a function, and I'll right click right where we want to do that, insert key, and the function that we want to call is the queue_free method, which is right here. And so now, after 1 second, it's going to call the queue_free method on our coin without us writing any code. And voila, all the things we could have.
All right, hold on. I need to figure this out. So, call method. Okay. Okay, I have to trash that. I don't get that. Press the call and I there are no so search. So I don't know.
done through code.
Okay, I don't
All of
get
these
that.
keyframes here are on second 1. Let's put them over to right at the beginning of our animation at second 0. And then after 1 second here, we want to remove our coin. And this is a really cool part about the animation system, is that we can actually add another track here, a call method track, that is used to calling functions. So on our coin, we want to call a function, and I'll right click right where we want to do that, insert key, and the function that we want to call is the queue_free method, which is right here. And so now, after 1 second, it's going to call the queue_free method on our coin without us writing any code. And voila, all the things we could have done through code are. And this is a really cool part about the animation system, is that we can actually add another track here, a call method track, that is used to calling functions. So on our coin, we want to call a function, and I'll right click right where we want to do that.
I see. Coin. Right click, insert. Word give here. Word give here, I think. Is that right?
Insert key, and the function that we want to call is the queue-free method, which is right here. And so now, after 1 second, it's going to call the queue-free method on our coin without us writing any code. And voila, all the things we could have done through code are all inside this animation. And again, to get back, we simply choose reset. Now all that is left is playing the animation through script. So in our script, we'll get a reference to our animation player. And then instead of directly calling queue-free, we'll go animation player.play pickup. And if we play now, we can hear our music. And this is a really cool part about the animation system, is that we can actually now, after 1 second, it's going to call the queue-free method on our coin without us writing any code. And voila, all the things we could have done through code are all inside this animation. And again, to get back, we simply choose reset. Now all that is left is playing the animation through script. So in our script, we'll get a reference to our animation player. And then instead of directly calling queue-free, we'll go animation player.play pickup. And if we play now, we can hear our music, and we can hear our pickup sound when we run into the coins. Awesome! Export! Finally, we are ready to export. Really awesome!
It's my window. It's my door slamming. I don't know.
And again, to get back, we simply choose reset. Now all that is left is playing the animation through script. So in our script, we'll get a reference to our animation player. And then instead of directly calling queue-free, we'll go animation player.play pickup.
So okay. So 6 animation player, right? Yeah, that's right. Animation player. Control player. Yeah. And player. Okay. Nice player. Dot play. Yeah, animation. Yeah, I think that's it. So stay. So great for the game. It should work. Not working. So let's hit look at anime sprite. Oh, that's what I think that's what's going on. Save. So let's look at it. Oh, there it goes. There we go. It's working now. Finally. Yay, it works. I finally figured that out. Thank you. Thank you, subscribers, because you did nothing.
Animation player.play pickup. And if we play now, we can hear our music, and we can hear our pickup sound when we run into the coins. Awesome! Export! Finally, we are ready to export. Really incredible that you made it this far. You can feel very proud. So let's get our game out of Godot so we can share it with others. Godot can of course export to many different platforms, but I'm on a Windows computer here, so let's go ahead and make a quick Windows build. The first time we are exporting our game, we need to download the export templates. These are a little large, so to keep Godot lightweight, they aren't included by default. To install them, we go to Editor, Manage Export Templates, and hit Download and Install. And the export templates are installed and ready to be used, so we'll close, go to Project, and Export. In this window, we'll add a build platform, so let's go Add, Windows Desktop. We'll enable Embed PCK, which will export it into a single file. Then we scroll down. As for the product name here, I'm going to type in Princess Dragon Slayer. And we can hit Export Project. I'm simply going to put this on my desktop, uncheck Export with Debug, and hit Save. This warning is not a problem. We'll hit OK. And now on the desktop, we have this first game.
How do I export?
Awesome. Export! Finally, we are ready to export. Really incredible that you made it this far. You can feel very proud. So let's get our game out of Godot so we can share it with others. Godot can of course export to many different platforms, but I'm on a Windows computer here, so let's go ahead and make a quick Windows build.